Hey guys, it's Stephen here. I've just got back from a really unique evening, if I'm being honest. Manchester City, and big love to Michael and Oliver, who both invited me along. Invited me to the premiere of their new documentary together, which goes live tomorrow morning on the City Plus at 10 a.m.
I know we are nervous. I'm nervous. I admit it. I'm nervous. But I know we are ready. Okay? Let's go outside, enjoy together, and let's be excited. Come on!
What we have done so far, we deserve to be in the position that we are right now.
This is a very special group. I've been part of many teams over the years, but this group has a togetherness, a closeness.
The basic step to a successful team, it's the relationships.
And I went along to it in town at the cinema. At Everyman Cinema, which is that dead fancy one on Key Street. I absolutely love Everyman Cinema. And tonight I was there, and obviously the best bit is always free food. Free food's free food. I bloody love free food. I got free food and drinks, and then got to watch between an hour and a half and an hour and 45 minutes of wonderful behind-the-scenes footage documenting Manchester City's last, I'd say, just under a couple of months of the season. So that kind of business end of the season when City were just about to win the Carabao Cup, and of course, then about to win the Premier League, and of course, knocked out the FA Cup, and of course, the game we don't talk about anymore, the Champions League final. And it was an absolute honour to be there once again. I'd like to say thank you to you guys. Honestly, if you weren't watching these videos and all that kind of stuff, for one, Man City would never invite me on the We're Not Really Here shows. I never would have been invited to things like this tonight. So it was a genuine honour to be there tonight, watching it with Nicola. It was surreal. It was wonderful, and none of the players were there because obviously the season's about to start, so they got all the COVID bubbles and all that kind of stuff. But still, I was surrounded by City staff and all that kind of stuff, and obviously they were incredibly proud of the production that they put together. There will be some minor spoilers in this, but in general, I wanted to talk about what it meant to be able to watch a thing like that in person as a preview, and it was an honour. It really was, and to be honest, it's essential viewing for any Manchester City fan. Honestly, it's like $1.99 or a quid or something like that for a City Plus subscription, and it's definitely 1,000,000,000% worth that. Even just for what you learn about these Manchester City players, and there were so many little moments where you just smile and you forget sometimes that these players are actually human and that they do care about what they do, and they do have their own idiosyncrasies and their own little personal memes and all that kind of stuff, and they do have those little moments that make you realise that they are human. And there were so many things about the players that I kind of grew to love during this film, and it is once again just one film, it's not episodes. In particular, I mean, the highlights for me was learning that Scott Carson really does mean that much to the players. They absolutely love the guy. Genuinely, I won't spoil some bits which are honestly really funny, but the fact that he's a bit of a meme to the players as well, that he's that loved. There were some touching moments that Nicola even went, oh, that's really sweet, the way they were talking about Scott Carson at times. He seems a fantastic guy, and I guess one thing I really learned about Together in general is that the importance of that. Really, they are an incredibly tight-knit bunch of players. They clearly do care for each other, and especially during the world that was last year, during the COVID stuff in the pandemic. You really can't underestimate the importance of having that group of people around you, that you're all in that same collective drive towards one goal. You're in that same bubble, that same unit. You can tell where this team achieved what they did last season. The special things, we forget about that insane winning streak that they went on. They won the Premier League despite at one point being 13th in the Premier League. You forget how much they achieved last year, and this was a stark reminder of that, and the exceptional circumstances that they had to do it from within. It was a really weird season, yet they achieved so much, and you can kind of see why when you see how well all those players get on. It's little things as well, like seeing how much Phil Foden has grown in confidence when he was being interviewed. He's a playful young lad. He's quite charming, actually, quite adorable in a young, cheeky, chappy kind of way, and he's cut as a different figure to the one about 2 or 3 years ago when he was a lot shyer, a scrawny little teenager, a lot more apprehensive and nervous in front of a camera, where actually he's opened up quite a lot. He's become a lot more affable. Kevin De Bruyne, to me, was the pick of the interviews. De Bruyne is genuinely funny. He's a witty guy. He's got that sense of humour where he almost comes across quite robotic, but I think he knows he does as well. He's just incredibly blunt, but to the point where he knows he's actually taking the piss, and I love that. I love people who are willing to crack a joke more or less every single time, but in a dry sort of way that most people would just miss a mistake for awkwardness, but he isn't. He's genuinely witty. He's genuinely kind of charming in his own way, and I love that. KDB, he's blunt. He's got like a really deadpan delivery to jokes, which is I wasn't expecting, and he genuinely had me cracking up. Zinchenko as well, the lovable, adorable rug as you would expect. Some moments with Zinchenko that had me giggling away as well. And you see once again, actually, just how young some of these people are. Now, obviously, this is coming from someone who's 35 years old here. The same way just got Carson Fernandinho, of course, as they were filming this. But you see, like, even be like Rodri and so on, when you see he's just a early 20s bloke messing around in a swimming pool with a GoPro, you forget they are just young men. You know, they are just young men. And to be honest, young men are just big boys. That's all they are, really. You know, they're just kids. They're big kids. And you forget that at times, that how far they've come. And even though they're adults with kids and all that kind of stuff, they still like to mess around. And they still are just big kids in a dressing room, paid an awful lot of money, but still want to mess around and play. Little things as well. You see how hard they work, the likes of Edison and Foden. They just never, ever leave the training ground. It's kind of fascinating, actually. And you see some unlikely leaders. Gundogan, you've seen the clips. An unlikely leader. We've seen how good a leader Fernandinho is. And you see a little bit like of obviously Diaz's leadership style as well, but to me the surprise was how much they all look up. Not a surprise, but we know it, but how much Fernandinho really took on that leadership mantle. It isn't just Ruben Diaz as we all suspected, it's a lot more than that, you know, all the players taking the time to get involved, and of course there's some absolutely charming backroom staff as well interviewed throughout that. It was a really pleasurable experience to watch it. I mean, I didn't show, like, I won't do any spoilers or anything like that, but there's some bits where I wish they'd lingered a little bit longer, even showing the pain a bit more, like, because it felt like that's what you kind of want to see, you know, show more of that pain and suffering, because that's what makes it human, you know, that's the kind of thing you want to see. But still, it's a fantastic production, and the City staff should be really proud of it, and I would definitely recommend watching it, because it's the kind of stuff you want to see as a City fan. You want to see these players humanised, you want to see the behind the scenes moments, you want to see the preparation that goes into being a professional footballer at times, and also what I will say, if you're a thirsty person, there's lots of shots of our very handsome players walking around in the swimming pool tops off. It's one some people are gonna have a field day with this video, if I'm being totally honest. Cheekbones FC is alive, well, and eating good after this documentary, I will say. But it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I know people who've worked on that. Congratulations to all involved. It's a mammoth effort to have weeks of footage and collate that into something that concise and all that. It's a fantastic achievement, and a brilliant insight into the dressing room at Manchester City. Watching them celebrate, watching people feel emotions is never not going to be absolutely engaging. Be them celebrating, be them sad, and I want to see more of that in a weird way. I want to see how much it actually hurt some of those games. But it is, when you see those brief moments and you see how much it means to those players, it's really intriguing. It's really humanising as well. And I mean that in the best possible sense. These footballers, they are put up on another platform and on a pedestal at times. They are treated as these demigods, and to some people they are. But you forget, down at the very bottom of it all, they are just big boys, you know, big kids. They are just footballers. They are just human beings, and they do share these emotions and these frustrations. And they do share the ups and downs that many of us do as well. And they're different level, of course, but still you do get to appreciate just how good they are, how professional they are, what they do, and just how much it means to them. And that is obviously the skill of what makes these things absolutely fascinating. I loved being there tonight. I want to once again say thank you. I would not be there, and I would not be as well what I was at earlier in the day. I was invited down to a big debate with Gary Neville, Roy Keane and Carragher. No, where's the City representation for Sky, and that was fantastic. And then to top it off with this tonight, the premiere. Thank you once again for supporting me. It's been a surreal few years, and you guys are fantastic. And I know YouTubers say this kind of stuff honestly, but I really genuinely mean it. I can't speak for everyone else, but all I know is that I mean it when I say thank you. So once again, You're all fucking awesome. Do watch this. Do watch it. It's on City Plus as of tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's a fantastic behind the scenes documentary, documenting an incredible end of the season. And I think we forget sometimes just how good last season was. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty damn close. Enjoy the video.